So we're just going to do 4. I'm going to do some all no-bake recipes. So I'm also going to show you some of my kitchen tools that I use while I'm doing this. So the first recipe is a chickpea quinoa salad. This is one of my favorites. It's an easy one to make, and it's always a big hit when I bring it to gatherings and different events. Unfortunately, we're not going to a lot of gatherings these days, but you know, for a small group, for your family and friends, this is great to have, and it also will last in the refrigerator. So I started with just cooking some quinoa, and I used some tricolor quinoa. And a tip is I put all my grains and nuts and seeds and a lot of things in jars. I got mason jars, and I got these little plastic lids, and I labeled them. It's just so much easier to take it out, unscrew it, and then measure it and then cook it. Also, too, I like organization. And when you have all these different bags in your pantry, it's hard to go through them. Where you have all these nice glass jars, you can see exactly what you need. So there's different kinds of quinoa. Like I said, this is a tricolor one. So I cooked it in my Instant Pot, and if you don't have an Instant Pot, I highly recommend that you get one. It cooks food so fast, and I like about it that you can, set it, leave it, go do some other errands, chores in your house, and then come back and be done. So it comes with a little book that I call my little Bible, because it tells you exactly, how much grain to water and then how long to cook it. Sometimes, though, it's not exact. Like my grain for my quinoa, it told me to cook for 8 minutes, but I found in the past that it was too long, so I actually cooked it for 5 minutes. So I did 1 cup of quinoa, 2 cups of water, and I did it on manual setting for 5 minutes, and that was it. And it really just came out perfect. You can see the grain there. So I already dumped a can of just chickpeas, just rinsed them. If you want to peel them, you can. It takes a little bit more time. This is, this organic brand is from, I think this one is from Walmart. So I'm just going to dump the quinoa in the bowl. It was a cup of quinoa uncooked, so it kind of made like 2 cups. You don't have to be exact. That's what's great about cooking. Baking, you have to be exact. With cooking, you don't. Just add what you want, the amount that you want. All right. So that's it. We did that. I'm just going to put this aside. Just over here. Then I'm going to chop a pepper. And for some reason, I think the recipe, it said a tablespoon of chopped pepper, but I actually just use a whole red pepper. I don't know how I got that. Here's another little gadget. This is it's called Chop Pro Wizard, but there's a lot of different brands. It's just a chopper. It comes with 3 different blades. I'm going to use the smallest one because I want to get those peppers chopped small. And you can buy these, anywhere. Amazon. I know Amazon has been everybody's best friend since this pandemic has started. You don't have to leave your house. You pretty much get whatever you need. I know the Amazon driver has certainly been to my house several times, especially since my daughter's back staying with us. So I'm just going to cut in pieces, and you just put it on here, and that's it. It makes these nice little tiny chops, and you can see it's very quick. It's a little loud. Just made it big. This is a fun way to get kids involved too, to help you in the kitchen. It's pretty safe, you don't want a little toddler doing it, but if you have an older kid that can do this very safely. So I'm just chopping 1 whole pepper, red pepper. And that's it. So you can use any kind of pepper. You can use a yellow, green, whatever. You can do a couple different peppers. Like I said, cooking is not precise. I'm just going to dump that in the bowl here. week. And then I pretty much am the queen of kitchen gadgets. I collect kitchen gadgets. Other people collect other things. I collect gadgets because I want to spend a decent amount of time in the kitchen. I love to cook, but I don't want to be here for hours and hours. So, you know, another tool that I have that I love is this mini Ninja. Bring it over here because. So this again is about 20 bucks. It's a little mini food processor, but it's very powerful. And you're gonna see I'm gonna use it a couple times today. I leave this on my counter and I can pretty much tell you I use it every day. So I'm gonna chop the celery and the carrots in here and the onion. Again, the recipe says like a tablespoon. I just am using a couple stalks of celery. And I'm just gonna chop it. Cut it in little pieces, and then I'm just gonna throw it in here. I'm actually gonna do this onion with it. You can use red onion, yellow onion. I just happen to have a yellow onion, so that's what I'm using today. I'm just gonna put a half onion in here. You can put as much as you want. If you don't like onion, you don't have to put the onion in here. You don't put the celery in either. You know, like I said, this is. You can very individualize this. So I'm just cutting it. Like this. Just put the lid on. Unfortunately, I don't have it. Let's see if you can see this right here. Plug it in. All right, and you're gonna see, I'm just gonna chop it just a couple times. Okay, that's it. You just wanna kind of pulse it because if you kind of like hold it down, you're gonna kind of pulverize. You don't want like mush. So we got some nice pieces of carrots, celery and onion. So I'm just gonna throw that in there. And then we're gonna put some carrots in here. And I just took some whole baby carrots and you can just throw them whole in there. And you're gonna see how nicely this is gonna, again, chop. That's it. So again, these little kitchen tools really make cooking so much easier and quicker. And I like to batch cook, so I like to cook like one day and have enough food for, 3 or 4 days. If you don't mind eating the same thing. But this salad is great. You can add it to, greens. Make a bowl out of it. Big salad bowl. All right, so you see I have all the colors in there now. So now we're gonna make the dressing. And this is one of my favorite dressings that I make. And I actually use this dressing a lot just for salad dressing. I'm just gonna rinse this out. Salad dressings are so easy to use. It's so easy to make, and I make mine without oil. And the reason I don't use oil is because it's very calorie dense. If you don't want to lose weight, if you're not watching your fat content, then go ahead and use the oil if you want. But a couple of reasons why I don't use it. Number one, it's calorie dense. 1 tablespoon is 120 calories, so there's 120 calories I don't need. And number two, it's high in fat. And I had a lot of stomach problems over the years, and if I eat a lot of high fat stuff, it just causes me stomach issues. So I tend to not use it. The only oil I use is a little bit of olive oil spray if I'm like maybe roasting some veggies, potatoes. All right, so this dressing is basically, it's called the 3-2-1 dressing, and it's 3 parts vinegar, 2 parts mustard, and 1 part maple syrup. So I like this white vinegar from Trader Joe's. You basically can use any kind of vinegar you want. Dark balsamic, it tends to give it a little bit heavier flavor, but if you like that, that's fine. I like this, it's a little bit lighter. You also can use apple cider vinegar or a plain vinegar, whatever you want. You can play with the flavors. And then I use the Dijon mustard. I like the flavor of Dijon. And then as a sweetener, I use maple syrup. And some people don't want to use maple syrup because it is a little bit of a processed sweetener. You can use soaked dates. So again, you don't have to use the little processor, but it just makes it really creamy. And you can triple, quadruple this recipe and put it in a little jar and keep it in the refrigerator, and it'll keep, for a good week. So it's 3, 2, 1, which is 3 tablespoons of vinegar, 2 tablespoons, and then 1 tablespoon. I'm going to double this recipe since it needs it for this. I think one may not be enough of it to cover the dressing. And then, like I said, if you want to make it in large quantities, you can do 3 cups to 2 cups to 1 cup. I also, when I'm making dressing for like salads and stuff, I like using this dressing, and then you can sub out 1 tablespoon of mustard for 1 tablespoon of tahini, and that gives it it'll take out some of the mustard flavor. The tahini has more of like a nutty flavor to it. More mustard. Also, too, I like to add fruit, fresh fruit, or even frozen fruit to this to give it another dimension. Blueberries make a great dressing. Mango, strawberries. You just add them in here and blend it up, and you have a nice, peach, fresh peaches. Jersey peaches are out now. We just got done blueberries, but I think there's still blueberries out. All right, so I'm just going to mix this again. And that's it. You can see how nice and creamy it comes out. Like I said, you don't need to do this. You can do it a little whisk, but if you have it out as well. So I'm just going to mix that dressing in here. Just mix it up. And you want to, put this in the refrigerator. Also, too, you want to make sure that your quinoa is cool before you, mix it in here. You don't want it to, make the veggies soggy if it's hot. So just cook it ahead of time, or you can just, place it in the refrigerator while you're prepping the rest of the ingredients. And that's it. All right, let's see that. So this is really good. All right. So I'm going to kind of clear everything off and move on to it. Does anybody have any questions? You can unmute yourself if you have any questions. All right. Just going to kind of clean up here a little bit so I can make space for our next recipe.
Could you toast the chickpeas as well? First?
I'm sorry, say again?
Could you toast the chickpeas as well?
If you want to, yeah, that's just going to give it another dimension. It'll be crunchy.
Okay.
But I've never done that, but, no reason why you can't.
Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna put this aside. All right, I think our next recipe is our broccoli slaw. So I'm gonna, so the broccoli slaw is, I like this organic broccoli slaw from Trader Joe's, but you know, you can use any kind. You can even do this with a cold slaw mix. It doesn't have to really be the broccoli slaw. This is broccoli and carrot shredded. Okay. And then this has raisins in it. It has apples. I love it. The summer recipes. It's got apples and raisins. And then we have cashews for the dressing. So I'm going to make the dressing first. All right. So our dressing is a cup of cashews, and you want to always get raw cashews. And you know, cashews can be a little bit expensive. So Trader Joe's actually sells the pieces, and they're a lot cheaper. So I either buy them there, or BJ's has a really good price in their. They sell the raw ones in the section where they have all like snacks towards the back. And again, like I said, I store all my nuts and seeds in jars and label them. And I do store them all in the refrigerator because nuts can get rancid, especially in the heat. So if you keep them in the refrigerator, and even you can even freeze them or even stay even longer. But I use them so often, I keep them in the refrigerator. So for this recipe, I'm using my Vitamix. If you don't have a high-speed blender, you really need to soak your cashews either in hot water for a couple hours or overnight in the refrigerator. Even though I have a high-speed blender, I still soak these. I just took a cup of cashews and put some boiling water over it, and they've been sitting for, I guess, about an hour even in here. Okay. So that's a little trick with your cashews. Cashews make everything creamy, and because cashews have a neutral flavor, they kind of are great for making vegan versions of things like sour cream, dressings. I love cashews. Now cashews are a little bit higher in fat, so you know you want to watch. You don't want to eat too many of them. All right, so this is 1 cup of the. I'm going to drain these. Drain them. If you've never had a dressing made with cashews, you're really missing out. So good. All right, and it's a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Two teaspoons of lemon. So I'm going to do some fresh lemon. And another gadget that I love is my little lemon squeezer. Except these lemons are huge, but I'm going to kind of stick it in there. Maybe 2 teaspoons. All right, let's cut this lemon. It's bigger than I thought it was. There we go. that. And then we have a quarter teaspoon of fine sea salt. Some fine salt. We have a quarter cup of water, plus next to the table. We have 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. So this is going to be a little bit of a sweet dressing because it's a sweet salad. All right, it also calls for dry mustard. It's optional. I'm actually going to leave it out for today because I'm going to have all this food to eat, and my daughter doesn't like the mustard in it, so I'm going to leave that out. And you don't have to use that. All right, so that's it for the dressing. I'm going to put it in the Vitamix. And if you've never seen a Vitamix or don't have one, they're really loud. But this is probably my favorite kitchen gadget. It's also the most expensive one. I've had this now though for 7 years. Those that have them, I know some people have had them for 20, 25 years. They last forever. They do come with a 7-year warranty. If you don't want to buy it, you can buy a refurbished one too, which I actually have one for my Sure Place, and it works just as well. And they're like half the price. But this is an investment. And when I first went plant-based 8 years ago, I bought a Ninja for like $220 or something like that. And I went through it and it like wasn't strong enough, and it ended up not working after not even a year. So I really debated whether or not to buy one, but then I thought, you know, I'm totally invested in this lifestyle and I know I'm going to be using it. So I bought it, and I am not, have not been disappointed. So save up for it and get yourself a Vitamix. All right, so this one has time, so I'm going to just do it for like a minute. Great. I also like to add cashews to tomato sauce. Makes it like a, you know, vodka cream sauce without the vodka and without the cream. Because again, your cashews are very creamy. All right. All right, so this, you can see it's so nice and creamy. All right, so for the salad, very easy. Just dump this bag. This is another big hit. I brought this to like a baby shower or something. Pretty basic. All right. It calls for, let's see, 1 cup of raisins. And I'm not going to measure. I think pretty much, again, not really that important. looks like a cup. That's it. All right, and then it calls for 2 organic apples. I use organic apples, and I keep the skin on them. And again, I'm going to use this nice little mini food processor, and I'm just going to throw them in chunks. Screw it up. And you can use any kind of apples, you know, if you want to use Granny Smith's. These are Gala apples. I'm going to put them all in here. Again, you just want to pulse it. You don't want to push it down because then you'll pulverize. You also can, I think, let's see what it has in there. Yeah. You also can take a grater and grate your apples too. Either way is fine. All right, so they're kind of just like chopped a little bit. I love fruit in my salads. It's just so refreshing. The different flavors. Even more, we're going to chop here. Those of you who are on Instagram and Facebook, I have my page is Karen's Healing Kitchen. If you don't already follow me, I just post in my stories all my recipes that I make. Some I just adapt from other people. Some I just kind of come up with on my own. And they're all pretty easy and simple, quick. They're not fancy. If the recipe has a lot of fancy ingredients, I kind of glaze over it. I try to keep things simple. But once you stock your pantry with all the basic things that you use all the time, then it's easy to just kind of grab things. All right, so I'm just going to do these. Okay, that's it. I also just started a new Instagram account called Mari and Mama. Mari is my 19-month-old grandbaby, and she loves to help in the kitchen. I bought her this cute little stool thing to help me. And those of you who have grandchildren or have kids, you know when they get to be toddlers, a lot of times they start getting picky. And my granddaughter has been plant-based since she was born. My daughter is plant-based, and she ate everything. I mean, everything we gave her from 6 months on. Loved broccoli, loved every vegetable, fruit, everything, grain. And then right around that 18-month mark, she started getting really picky. So we kind of have to get creative in trying to let her sneak some of the stuff in. So I started this cooking Instagram page with her, and I do post them on my Facebook. So if you're interested, you can check that out. So, all right, so that's it. I'm just gonna mix all these. I'm gonna take these tongs, easier. I love using tongs. And kind of just mix everything. I'm gonna mix it, and then we're gonna add that really nice dressing. If you have a Vitamix, you need one of these nice long spatulas so it can get underneath these blades. So we're just gonna put all this dressing on here. This dressing is like lick the spoon good. It's so good. It even smells good. You know, these salads, you know, they'll keep in the refrigerator for a few days, you know, up to a week, depending on, like, you know, this broccoli slaw, you know, the date on it, I think, was like the 24th. So you probably don't want to keep it for a week. But like the quinoa salad, that can stay for a little bit longer. All right, that's it. This is one of my favorite salads. I probably could eat like a quarter of this bowl in one sitting. It's so good. And besides from the cashews and the dressing, you know, there's really not much of calories going on here. And those of you who are worried about your different macros, like protein and all that, well, you got some protein in your cashews. So, and you know, there's protein in every veggie, so you don't have to worry about getting enough protein. And in that chickpea salad, there's tons of protein in quinoa, and of course chickpeas have tons of quinoa. I mean, tons of protein. And iron in chickpeas, it's good. All right, so that's it. Those are 2 summer salads. Any questions about this one? No? So I'm gonna just kind of clean up here a little bit before we do our next one. It's another gadget I have. My husband actually bought this for me for Christmas. He knows me, he buys me gadgets. I think it's like $3. And it's, you know, it's just this little scraper, but you know when you have all these scraps on your counter, you just kind of scrape it up. It's really kind of nice. All right, so let's see what we have next to do. Actually gonna all right, I'm gonna get rid of this Vitamix here. While I'm setting up for this next one, anybody have any questions about anything? Well, we're gonna make those, maybe next is the oat balls. And like jam in here. So my next kitchen gadget is the regular old food processor. This is an inexpensive one. I think it was like $30 or something at Kohl's. And a lot of advice I have, what I tell people that I'm kind of counseling is, and when I teach is, you know, keep all your appliances, you know, out so you use them. I know some people are like, oh, I don't want all that clutter in my kitchen. Well, if it's away underneath in the cabinet, a lot of times you're like, oh, I don't feel like getting that out, and then you don't use it. You know, especially now these days, people are home, you're cooking, you're not really having company over, but you know, when you do start having company over again, or are having some family over, you know, then you can hide a couple of things, but keep it out, you'll use it. This is my only appliance that I don't have on my counter, because this is probably the thing I use the least out of all my appliances. Try and All right, so the next thing I'm gonna make is some oat balls. These are great. Again, this is a great recipe too to make with kids because it's so easy and and fun. They love to, pour things and dump things. And most kids will like these. They're pretty much like homemade, like date bars, like Lara bars. It's, all the ones that you buy in the store. And these are really easy to make. And you can make a bunch of them and freeze them or put them in the refrigerator, and they'll last a really long time. So the recipe calls for just regular oats. So you want your old-fashioned rolled oats. You don't want to use the quick oats. And oats are different. There's different levels of oats. It starts with oat groats, which are the original oat when it's harvest. So they have the most fiber in them. They also take a really long time to cook, and you don't want to ever use that raw because they're just too hard. And then you have your steel cut oats. Again, steel cut oats you really don't want to use in raw recipes, but they also have more fiber. And then you have your rolled oats because now they're like, slicing away. So these have a pretty good amount of fiber in them. And then your last ones are your quick oats. Your quick oats have the least amount of fiber in them, and that's why they cook so fast. So for all my raw recipes, and even just if I cook oatmeal, I usually use steel cut oats because I just like the nutty flavor of it. But if you don't like it, then use long grain oats. Don't use quick oats. You're kind of like depriving yourself of all the fiber that you can get in here. Also, too, this has soluble fiber, which is the fiber that you want to, which is really good for your gut. And believe it or not, rolled oats have iron in them. So these are good sources of iron. So this is 365 gram, which is Whole Foods brand. And I don't normally shop at Whole Foods. I go there once in a great while. And I just happened to be out of oats when I was there. And I bought this large. And it was really inexpensive. And I also like to do organic oats. Because oats are sprayed with glyphosate, which is, a herbicide, which has been proven to cause like a lot of gut problems and everything. So it's only probably 50 cents more to buy the organic. So I really highly encourage you to buy some organic oats. Everybody has organic oats now. ShopRite has their own brand. Acme has their own brand. You can buy them online, Bob's Red Mill. There's so many different brands, and like I said, they're pretty inexpensive. But I bought this huge bottle here. And then we're throwing some seeds in here. The Powerhouse 3 seeds I like are flaxseed. Flaxseed are high in your omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for your brain. That's what you find in fish. But instead of eating the fish, where you can also get contaminants, and the fish get it from algae, so they don't make omega-3s, they get it from eating the algae. But you can also get it from flaxseed without harming any fish or getting any of the pollutants that you get. But you want to make sure that you buy whole flaxseed. You don't want to buy it ground because it can go rancid and lose some of its qualities if it's already ground and sitting on the shelf for who knows how long. So buy it whole, and again, I store all my seeds and nuts in glass jars and then put them in the refrigerator. And then what I do is how I grind it. You can use that little food processor. You can put it in a blender or whatever. I have this little coffee grinder that I actually bought years ago, and I just put them in here and grind them in there. The other things are chia seeds. Chia seeds also are a powerhouse. They have, 6 grams of protein, 2 tablespoons. And they also are high in iron. They also have calcium in it. So these are great to include, especially if you're making these for kids and you have kids who are, you're worried they're not eating great. Just throw this in it. They'll never know the difference. And then the other one, I don't have the package, is hemp seed. Hemp seed are very high in protein also. A lot of people use protein powders, and they ask me all the time about protein powders and smoothies, or just drinking a protein shake. I'm not a big fan of protein powders, and for a couple reasons. One reason is if you read the protein powders, they usually have a bunch of different ingredients in them. And because, like I said, I had a lot of GI problems early on, and when I transitioned, I have to really watch what I'm eating. And if you're using a protein powder that has a lot of ingredients in it, and you start having some issues, stomach issues, or some kind of weird reaction, you're not going to know what ingredient you're reacting to. So if you do single ingredients, you can at least eliminate through a process of elimination. So you can I just use pure organic hemp seeds. They are so high in protein. I think it's 8 grams for 2 tablespoons. It's pretty high. And we don't need that much protein a day. For myself, it's like 45 grams. Most females are eating between 45 and 55 grams a day, and guys are like, I don't know, between like 55 and 65. If you're an athlete, you're going to add maybe another 20 to 25 to that. But most of us aren't athletes, okay? We don't need that much protein. So anyway, like I said, hemp seeds will give you plenty of protein, and they're single ingredients. And then what else is in this recipe? There are dates. So dates are going to be my sweetener in this. You can use maple syrup also, but again, maple syrup is processed. It's minimally processed compared to, all the other sugars out there, especially cane sugar. But some people want, some natural sugar. So dates will give you that. And if you're using dates, you're also going to get all the fiber in the dates. So those are good too. So these are the big jewel dates. They have the pits in them. So in order, if you're getting them fresh, like you just buy them and they're nice, fresh and real soft and gooey, then you don't have to do anything to them. But if you bought them ahead of time, again, I store them in the refrigerator so they stay longer. So they're going to get a little bit harder. So what I do is I pit them, and then I put them in a glass measuring cup or any kind of glass bowl, and cover them with hot water. I did boiling water, and they're going to soften up. So that's going to make it nice for this recipe. And then I'm going to use peanut butter, but you can use any kind of nut butter you want. If you have someone who has a nut allergy or peanut allergy, then you can use almond butter, cashew butter, or if you have someone that has a complete nut allergy, you can use sun butter, which is made with sunflower seeds. Very rarely anybody has an allergy to sunflower seeds. And again, lots of protein in all your nut butters, including the sun butter. And then you can either put raisins in this, or you can put chocolate chips. And I am using, of course, non-dairy chocolate chips. These are actually Trader Joe's brand. They're just semi-sweet, and they are what we call accidentally vegan. So again, read your labels, make sure it doesn't have milk in it. But most of your dark chocolate doesn't have the milk in it, but a lot of the commercial brands have it. Like Nestle, I think they have milk in their dark chocolate, which is crazy. But Trader Joe's has them. Even ShopRite. If you shop at ShopRite, they have a new brand. It's called Bone Ranch, something like that. Their brand, chocolate chips, semi-chips, dark chocolate chips, actually are also vegan. So we're going to do chocolate chips today. And the other ingredient I use is cinnamon. I always use cinnamon for everything, and we're also going to use some vanilla. When I make these for my grandbaby, I don't put the chocolate in it because she's active enough. I don't need to give her any caffeine to make her more active. All right, so basically you just dump all this into the your food processor. But yeah, if you're using maple syrup, you actually can get away with not using the food processor because you can't blend dates in just a bowl. You can use just a bowl if you're using maple syrup, but it just makes it so much easier. So what are we doing here? So we're going to do 1 cup of oats. I'm actually going to do a little bit more. So I keep just some oats in there. save this water because you may, depending on the consistency of them, you may need to add a little bit of water. So I'm just adding the dates in here. And I used 8 of them in here. Again, I'm not measuring, just gonna add a little bit of sprinkle of cinnamon.
How long do you soak the dates for?
I did these probably for about an hour this morning in the boiling water. So it really depends on how hard your dates are to start with. So like I said, if you just opened a package of dates, they're usually really soft, but because I've had these stored in the refrigerator, they were hot. So you just want to make sure that they're, you know, soft and soggy so that, you know, they grind up. Now, if they're a little bit harder, you know, it's fine. You're just going to have, you know, pieces of dates in it, which is fine. A lot of people, you know, are okay with that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we have the teaspoon of vanilla. So we did cinnamon, we did vanilla. And like I said, I like to grind my seeds in this little thing here, little coffee grinder, because I don't like biting into, well, you want to make sure your flaxseed obviously are always grounded, but even like chia seeds, you don't have to grind your chia seeds. But personally, I like to grind my chia seeds, and the reason I do that is because they tend to get stuck in my teeth. And I have a lot of caps and dental work going on. So to me, it's annoying. You do not, a lot of people just throw them in whole, and that's absolutely fine. The same with the hemp seeds. I actually grind them. And another reason why I grind them when I'm making them for my grandbaby, so they're not whole, okay? And also too, if you're making them for a kid, sometimes kids get like freaked out if they see like, you know, seeds or specks or something. So if you grind them, they kind of blend in better. So you can see it's all blended in. I kind of just threw all of them in together and grinded it. So I'm just gonna put all those in there. And then we're gonna do the nut butter. It's a half a cup, but again, there's no right or wrong. You never have too much peanut butter. It's just the consistency you want to get right. Just rinse this off. You're going to put your chocolate chips in last. So I'm going to mix this all in and then add those. Got everything in here. So you probably have to stop it a couple times just to kind of scrape it down and make sure everything's mixed in. I can tell you, I made these last week without the raisins or chocolate for my grandbaby, and she's been eating them for breakfast. She'll eat like 3. I make them into balls. She'll eat like 3 balls and then have some fruit, and it's easy. You know, it's easy for my daughter just to, she keeps them in the refrigerator. It's easy for her to just give them in the morning, and she loves them. So, and she's getting, you know, all the right nutrients. So this is looking pretty good. I'll show you. See it? And then I'm just gonna stir in some of the chocolate chips. And like I said, you know, if you feel like it's too wet, you can add some more oats to it. If it's too dry, you can add just a little bit of water. You want to do a little bit at a time so you don't make them too wet. And of course, you know, all these recipes, they don't have any animal products in them, so, you know, you can taste them and add if you feel you need, you know, need something else. So what I do is I just shape them into little balls. You also can put them into like a, you know, 8x8 pan and spread them out. Put some parchment paper down, spread it out, and put it in the refrigerator until it gets, you know, until it sets, gets hard. Or you can even put it in a freezer for like 15, 20 minutes and then cut them into bars if that's, you know, if you'd rather have them as a bar. But I like them as these balls because they're like bite size. They're great for taking to work. If you just need a snack in the afternoon. You know, so I tend to keep them in the freezer. I like them hard, but you can keep them in the refrigerator if you don't like them really, really hard. And that's it. And, you know, there's so many variations of this. You know, you can add dried cranberries, dried cherries, any kind of dried fruit that you want. And like I said, you can experiment with different nut butters. Some people prefer almond butter, cashew butter, any of those. So that's it. And then, like I said, you can do raisins instead of chocolate. There's just endless to these bowls. There's so many recipes. Also, too, if you want to sneak in fact, the next time I make them, I'm actually gonna, when I make them with my grandbaby, I'm going to try and I'm gonna add some chickpeas to it. Again, chickpeas, if you add it with nut butter and the dates, you're not even gonna know there's beans in here. And that's one of the things that she used to eat a lot of beans. Now she won't eat the beans. So we have to hide them. So it's a great way to hide the beans. You also can you can do like some shredded carrots. If you shred the carrots like really, really fine, you can put those in there too. So that's another way to, you know, get some veggies in there. Also too, raw zucchini. That's another thing that's, you know, you can put in there too. I like to add raw zucchini to my oatmeal when I'm making oatmeal in the morning. All right, so that's it. Any questions about those? I'm actually going to taste this one. It's really good. It almost tastes like a raw chocolate chip cookie. So it's really good. So I seem to be going faster than I anticipated in these recipes. I only have one more left to show you, but anybody have any questions or any comments or any different recipes that you have questions about, or any kitchen hacks? I'll show you another one of my newest gadgets. And I wish I had known about this, you know, a few years ago. I have bought a air fryer, just a regular traditional air fryer, and I loved it, but it's big, it's cumbersome, and it didn't really fit a lot. So I actually bought a bigger one and brought that one down to my shore place. And still, it still was kind of cumbersome. You couldn't really fit a lot into it. So then I read about these convection toaster fryers, and I thought, you know what, let me look into them. So I Googled, you know, best ones, got rid of reviews. So I found this one. It's called a Cuisinart, and you can see it's right back here. know if everybody can see that, but I do have a picture of it closer up in my Instagram page, which I have a safe story with all my kitchen gadgets, kitchen tools. So anyway, this thing is a convection oven, a regular oven, a toaster oven, and an air fryer. I got it on sale at Kohl's. I had a 30% off coupon. I think it ended up costing me like $130. And I can tell you, I have used it every single day since I bought it 2 months ago. It's great, especially for the summer, because I have not put my oven on. Believe it or not, it can fit so much in here. But the air fryer mode on that is so great because it has this basket. So you can see, does anybody out there have an air fryer? Yes?
I do, but I've never used it. I do. I got one for my shower, but I never used it yet.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, you may want to sell it and buy one of these, because I actually sold my air fryer that I bought. And I mean, the air fryers themselves were expensive. I mean, the big one I bought was like $100. So for an extra 30, 40 bucks, you can get this thing. And this is how big this basket is. I mean, you can roast potato, and you don't have to heat it up, which is nice. You don't have to preheat your oven. So I roasted potatoes on just a regular bake mode for 15 minutes, and they were done.
Wow.
And then if you want them like really crispy, you turn it to the air fryer mode for like 5 minutes, and they like become like really crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Tofu, if you like tofu, or if you've never had tofu before, tofu is so good in here, air fried. I do tofu at least once a week. I love it. But I'm telling you, it's great because, again, like I said, for summertime, you know, every time I would turn my oven on, you know, you heat up your house at least another 10 degrees. With this, it doesn't do that. So I think it's become my number 2 favorite. I don't know. It's kind of in competition now with my Vitamix. So it's and my Instant Pot. But those three appliances will really change your life. If you take the Vitamix out, go for this and the Instant Pot, because again, those two I use all summer too, because you can use your Instant Pot without turning on your stove. I have gas, so it heats up too. So I do a lot of like veggies, like maybe baked potatoes, steamed potatoes in there, steamed beets. Like I said, all my rice and my quinoa, lentils, you know, all your grains, you cook in the Instant Pot with no problem. All right. I need to be a spokesmodel for one of these things. Maybe someone will, you know, give me some compensation. All right. Oh yeah, what are we gonna use? Let's get some of this out of the way.
The Vitamix is my favorite too.
What's that?
The Vitamix is my favorite too, out of all my appliances.
Yeah.
The best.
It is. It's I tell everybody I have a love affair with my Vitamix. It's great. And like I said, you can get a refurbished one. I bought a refurbished one for my daughter for Christmas, and it works just fine. And some people get like a little freaked out about refurbished. And I actually went to a conference once, and a Vitamix representative was there, and she was talking about, because they have like an affiliate program and everything you can do. But anyway, she was talking about these refurbished ones, and she said they're actually not refurbished. She said they're really just returned, or sometimes they may be a demo one, or open box ones. So most of them are still brand new. They just can't sell them as new. So they tell us first. So if you do go for refurbished one, personally, I would buy them right from the Vitamix website, because they come with the warranty, and they're the best ones to deal with if you did have any issues with it. So the next thing I was gonna make is NiceCream. I think that perfect. Has anybody made NiceCream before? Not ice cream, but NiceCream.
So good.
So, just gotta get my blade. All right, blade there. Okay. Looking for the top. So I usually make my NiceCream in the Vitamix because it comes out so creamy. I mean, when I make this at demos, people cannot believe that it is made with bananas. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have some frozen bananas. And how do you freeze your bananas? Well, another thing that I buy organic, and if you've never bought organic bananas, I urge you to try them. Even though they have the skin, you know, they're not, usually if they're sprayed, they, you know, it can't penetrate because of the hard skin. But I will tell you, when I started buying organic bananas, because again, they were like, I think 10 cents a pound more. So, you know, a whole bunch, maybe it cost me 25 cents more. They're just taste so much better. And if I have just a regular, you know, conventional banana, I notice the difference like right away. So, like I said, I tend to spend the extra money on my food because evidently, I mean, as you know, food is medicine, which is what I teach. And because food has healed me of so many of my issues, from IBS to arthritis, to skin problems, to insomnia, hot flashes, weight gain, energy, just so much. I, you know, would rather spend the extra money on food. I also do not drink, I don't smoke. Right now we're going pretty much nowhere. So I'm not really spending money on anything. So I tend to spend, you know, more money on better quality food. So the thing that you want for your NiceCream to make it sweet, you know, to make bananas sweet, they have to be a little more ripe. So you want to wait till they have these nice spots on them. And then you peel them, but you see, even though they have spots on them, it's a perfectly yellow banana inside, or light yellow, whatever color it is. And then you just break them up in little pieces, and then I place them on a cookie sheet and put them in the freezer. So you put them in the freezer till they get hard, and then get mine out and put it back. And then you put them in a plastic bag. So rookie mistake I made when I first went plant-based and was reading about my freezing bananas, I peeled them and put them in whole in a bag. Well, not a good idea. They all stuck together. So if anybody's ever done that out there, I'm with you. So this is the way to do it, because then you can just grab. And you know, I use bananas for smoothies, smoothie bowls, and to make NiceCream. So it's always nice to just grab and go. So now these I'm going to use just because I only want to make a single serving of this. If you're making a lot and you have a Vitamix, obviously use your Vitamix. It's going to come out so creamy. But if you just want a little bit for yourself, or you don't have a Vitamix, you can do it in your food processor. If you're making a lot, you can make just a little, use it in the little mini. So I'm just gonna put a couple pieces in here. And what's nice about, this is, you can make it whatever flavor you want. Today we're doing a tropical flavor because I figured, for summer, maybe you had a vacation plan and it got canceled, so you want to we're going to go to some tropical place. So to make it tropical, I'm doing bananas and frozen pineapples. Now you can take your own pineapple and cut it and freeze it and put it in the freezer. Or you can be like me and go to Trader Joe's and get their pineapple chickens, or any frozen, any place that has them. I usually buy all my frozen fruit. I buy them in big bags from BJ's. Here they come like these big bags. These are blueberries. You also get like a tropical that has pineapple, mango, and strawberries in it. They're a lot cheaper, obviously, if you go to the big box stores, and they always have coupons. I just bought a big bag yesterday. I think it was $8.99 and had a $1.50 coupon. So when you add that up, it's really pretty inexpensive. These are, let's see, this is 3 pounds. So again, I tend to buy organic, but you definitely want to do organic blueberries, because blueberries are one of those that have the thin skins, and they do spray them if they're conventional. Whereas pineapple, mangoes tend to, they have the shell, the skin, so you don't necessarily have to. And these are not organic. Strawberries, though, you want to try to get organic again because of the thin skins. All right, so let's go doing pineapple and banana. And this is another great one to make with your kids. Let them make it, let them pick the flavors. A fun one to make is bananas and peanut butter, and you can put some raw cacao powder in here and make a chocolate peanut butter one. You can throw some chocolate chips in there, put it in a cone, and they think they're eating ice cream. So I'm just gonna grab a little bit of soy milk, because I'm gonna put just a little bit in here just to get it started. When I make it in my Vitamix, I don't use any liquid because you have the plunger and you're putting more in it. But this needs a little liquid just to get it started. So I'm just gonna grab that. And if you're not familiar with non-dairy milks, there's, 8 years ago when I went plant-based, you couldn't even find it. Now it's like overtaking, which is great. I love to see it. But there's so many and so many to choose from. So my non-dairy milk choice is soy. Soy to me has the most consistency if you're used to like a thicker, like from a cow's milk. But it also, this is the fortified one, and I usually buy just the regular organic. This one. This is West soy, and all this is, there's 2 ingredients: organic soybeans and water. That's it. This one is fortified. It's unsweetened and has just organic soybeans, but it's also fortified with calcium, vitamin D, B12. It does have some sea salt in it, but there's no added sugars. And this is what my grandbaby drinks. So when she comes over, I can get her this. Again, because it's fortified and she's not eating as great as she used to. So, but you just want to read your labels. A lot of the non-dairy milks have a lot of fillers in them, and they also have a lot of sugar in them. So, get something that's unsweetened, and then use your own sweetener. If I'm making like a hot cocoa or a coffee or tea, like a chai tea, what I will do is, again, I'm using this cute little thing here. I'll soak a couple dates, and then I'll put the dates in. You can use it in your Vitamix too. I'll put the dates in here with some of the non-dairy milk, unsweetened, and you just whip it and you have a sweetened milk without any added sugars. And again, you can also put that in a little jar and keep it in the refrigerator. But if you want to make a really good chocolate mix, like a hot cocoa, you know, just get some regular cacao powder, put some hot water in there, and then throw a couple dates in it, throw it in the Vitamix with some of your non-dairy milk, whip it up, and let me tell you, it's delicious. All right, so let's make this. Just gonna put just a teeny bit in there. The thing about making it in here is you do have to maybe stop and scrape down. This needs to be processed a little bit more. It's a little crumbly, so I'm just gonna keep processing until it looks like ice cream. Sometimes it's hard to do a small amount, so sometimes it's easier just to put more in. Hopefully you'll eat it or someone will share it with you. I'm gonna put another couple bananas in there. The only bad thing about, like, you can't make this in batch. If anybody's ever done this, you can't make like a batch of it and then put it in the freezer. It just doesn't freeze right. It's like hard and crumbly. It's starting to form. Like I said, this would have been nice and creamy in Vitamix. A little bit more. It's delicious. The pineapple makes it so good. And I've had people tell me that don't like bananas will actually like this. And if you mix enough other ingredients in with it, you don't really taste the banana. All right, so it did come out nice and creamy. Like I said, you just have to be a little bit more diligent with it. But it really does. You see, it looks like, it really does look like the consistency of ice cream. And you know, you don't, if you really, really, really hate bananas, you don't even have to use bananas. You can just use frozen fruit. It'll make like a sorbet, which is also, you know, great for summertime, you know. Great, so that was my banana pineapple ice cream. And what I like to top it off with is I took some of those frozen blueberries and I just defrosted them. You can either frost them, I just stick them in the microwave until they defrost, and it kind of like squished them down, kind of make like a compote. If you want a little sweetness, you can put a little tad maple syrup in here to make it sweeter. but I don't tend to need that. So I'm just gonna put those blueberries on top. So the blueberries, and then to make this a tropical treat, I have some shredded unsweetened coconut. I'm just gonna sprinkle that on top. And that's it. This is my favorite one to make for when I do demos, because I think people don't expect the different flavors there. And it's so refreshing. I really like it. And it's so full, you know. The difference between eating this and ice cream, there's no fiber in ice cream, right? So, and there's a ton of sugar in ice cream. So, you know, back when I used to eat ice cream, and I never ate it a whole lot because it did bother my stomach. Now I know why, because of the dairy. But I mean, you tend to feel heavier when you eat that dairy product. But when you're eating this banana and ice cream, this is actually a big serving. I don't even know if I could probably eat all this because of the fiber in the bananas. You know, they can be fuller quicker. And this serving was probably a whole banana, maybe a banana and a quarter. You know, a couple pieces of pineapple, and then that's it, and some blueberry. So that's it. So lots of time. So one of the things I like to make in the summertime, my go-to breakfast are smoothie bowls. Wintertime, I like to do steel cut oats because I like the warmth. In the summer, I don't really want to cook. I don't want hot things for breakfast. I like cold things. So I'll make smoothie bowls, and it's basically NiceCream, but with everything added into it. I do use my Vitamix for that because if you're adding a lot in, you need a powerful blender. And I always start with like mixed greens or some kind of green, and then I always use my frozen bananas, and then some fruit, and then I put all those seeds in there. I'll add some beet powder, some amla powder, which is an antioxidant. It's Indian gooseberry. And then top it with more fruit. You can put some nuts on there, nut butter. But again, you're getting all that fiber, and you're going to get, I usually make a really big bowl. Some people like to do smoothies. I like to do smoothie bowls. And I think the last one, I may have made smoothie bowls. I can't remember what I did with the last class. But anyway, the reason I prefer smoothie bowls over smoothies, not that I don't like smoothies, is that when you make a smoothie, you tend to drink it, obviously. Some people drink with a straw, you drink it faster. And a lot of times it doesn't keep you full because you drank it so fast. Or in my case, if I drink it too fast, I'm going to get bloated because it just kind of goes right into my stomach, and I didn't chew anything, so I didn't release any of these digestive enzymes to help me digest what's going on, and I ate it so fast. So if you put it in a bowl versus a liquid, you tend to chew, you eat it slower, and I think it digests slower, and it agrees with you more. So if you're one of those people that you've been drinking smoothies, but you get bloated, that could be the reason why. If you do a smoothie, say you want to go, or you don't have time to eat a smoothie bowl, just make it a little bit thicker, and then instead of drinking it with a straw, just drink a little bit at a time, squish it around your mouth, kind of chew it, release some of these enzymes, and then swallow it. Make it last a little bit longer so that you can get those digestive juices going and you don't get bloated. And the other thing is it'll keep you full. So they're fine. Tips with that. Any questions about these? Bananas, frozen. I'm just going to throw these back in the freezer because they're starting to thaw. Press away real quick. All right, well, half hour half hour early done, but it's because I tend to talk a little fast. Anybody have any questions or comments or anything? Anybody want to come over and help me eat some of this food? Hopefully my kids and my husband will eat. I guess this is probably what I'm having for I didn't eat today yet, so this will probably be my breakfast lunch. So I can't save that. All right. I think if there's any other, I'll show you a couple more gadgets. So like, this is an avocado cutter. Takes the pit out and cuts it. That's a neat little gadget.
Where do you get the avocado cutter from? Is that Amazon?
Yeah, but also like Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay.
You see Bed Bath & Beyond and Amazon, you can find just about any of these kitchen tools. Yeah, these were out of stock for a while on Amazon, but I think they're back up. Like I said, this is like $22. The chopper, you can find those everywhere too. You know, it depends on, you know, what you do a lot of. But I would definitely recommend getting one of these if you don't have one. Yes. I think I have just about every kitchen gadget that I need. I don't think I need anything else. But you know, there's a couple here more I could say. These are cool. Every time I do a demo on my Instagram page, everybody always asks me, where did you get them? These are salad choppers. If you're like me, I love to mix the flavors of my salad. So when I make a nice salad bowl, I usually will dump it all into a bowl, put a little dressing on, and then chop it all up. And then when you go to eat your salad, you're getting like, you know, all the different flavors into your mouth at one time. That's how I like to eat my salad. Some people are like weird and like everything separate. So these are really cool. Like I said, it's just a salad chopper, Amazon. And I also got my scraper. That's pretty much it. I also bought these really neat bins for my refrigerator, which are really nice. And my freezer, organized my refrigerator and my freezer with these plastic bins, and they're nice to pull out. I think I put that on a Save Story too. And like I said, the jars, you can just buy regular old mason jars, wide mouth, or, you know, I have some of each. The smaller mouths are easy to like pour out of. And then you just buy the plastic cups, plastic lids. Again, Amazon has them. I think I bought them at Walmart or Target. And you can look for, when I got my jars, we cleaned out my father-in-law's house and we found all these mason jars down in the basement, which was great. I just put them in a dishwasher and then bought the lids. But you can get them cheap, like if you, I look for, you know, coupons all the time, and Joann's Fabric, believe it or not, they sell mason jars, and they always have like a 40 or 50% off coupon. So you can get, you know, a pack of like 12 for half price if you use the coupon. So, and now I think, you know, I think they're open now, but you can even, I think, order online and pick up, or they even do delivery. And then also too, I'll show you and if you guys have little kids, or even if you have grandkids that you have, I bought these little pint jars, the pint mason jars, and then these plastic lids just fit on there. And then you can buy these little silicone sleeves. So if you don't want to use, you know, plastic for the kids, I will make like overnight oats, or I'll make non-dairy yogurt parfaits for the baby, and you can make these up ahead of time and have them ready to go. And then you also can get lids for them. They have the lids with the straw, and then they have a sippy cup lid too that you can get for them. So these are really cool. I like them. They're just the perfect size. I just did a video with the baby on making non-dairy yogurt parfaits. you know, if you're working at home or you're busy or whatever, these are great. You make them up ahead of time, keep them in the refrigerator. If your kid's older, they can go and get them themselves. And you just layer them with fruit and nuts and, you know, oats. I usually put oats in there too. And they're a great snack because, you know, the regular commercial yogurts that are out there, even the non-dairy ones, are full of sugar. So I tend to buy the unsweetened yogurt. I use cashew or almond yogurt or even soy yogurt, and then add my own fruit to it and nuts and seeds. And granola, you can get granola. You know, I'd rather have the little bit of sugar from the granola mixed in than all that sugar mixed in with the, you know, with the yogurt. All right, well, I think that's all I have for you today. I think I'm doing another one in a few weeks. We're going to do an Asian inspired, and it's all again no cook. It's all, you know, raw. Just because the setup, I don't really have the setup. Not easy to show making hot food. So there'll be some Asian salads, spring rolls, and I forget what else I'm making. It's on the list though. Great. I think I'm done.
Thank you so much for everything.
Well, thanks for coming. I appreciate everybody that's here. If you make anything, shoot me tag me in it, or, you know, shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook. I love to hear messages. Love to hear when people make, you know, my recipes. Great. Are we good to end?
Yeah, okay, thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.